What's up, everybody? Welcome to Move the Sticks. DJ and Buck with you. Buck, what is going on, man?
Not too much, DJ. Still recovering from a wild football weekend.
Oh my gosh, are you kidding me? There were some interesting results from this last weekend's games. If you missed the previous episode, we hit on 6 big ones with Baldy, and we do that each and every week. I wish we had time to get to all the games with him, but we don't quite have that luxury. So I wanted to hit on some of those games that we missed, and then there's another topic I want to get to you on as we're wrapping that up. But let's get first of all here to what we saw here. Atlanta, New England. New England holds on. They beat Atlanta 24-23.
Look, man, it's just the New England Patriots doing what they do. I mean, just playing really good complementary football. And a lot of the credit always will go to Drake May. But, man, I can't say enough about the job that the coaching staff has done in terms of remaking this team, remaking this franchise. They're not only connected in terms of their relationships and those things, because you see the clips, Stephon Diggs talking to Josh McDaniels in the past about what I need to talk to about the team and all that stuff. We've seen that the last couple of weeks. But, man, just the way that they complement each other and the way the game plans are, hey, the offense and the defense and special teams are all working together to get this dub. And I'll say this, it's gritty, not pretty when it comes to the Patriots, but man, they are sitting pretty when it comes to being 7-2 and trying to get this thing done in the AFC North and the AFC East.
Yeah, no, they're in a great spot, man, and the schedule lines up for them. We've been talking about that, but Drake May, just confidence continues to soar. My comment on this one is more on the Atlanta side of things. I feel like, gosh, is Atlanta's kind of turned into one of these teams that can fill up a box score, and what's missing here? Like they look pretty and they look pretty on paper, and then they just don't finish. They don't. Yeah, I don't know. There's something missing there. I don't know. I can't put my finger on it. We used to always just blame it on the pass rush, and now you look up, and now they've got young guys that are really rushing the passer, and they've got skill players, and I don't know, man.
I would say this. I would say, DJ, some of this is, are they tough enough?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, are they a tough enough team to be able to win these games? I don't know if they're tough enough to be able to get these things done. And that's hard to say. I mean, I don't want to fault Raheem or anything like that. I don't know how
6 sacks in this game, man.
I mean,
we talked about this team forever, like they can't rush the passer. Well, now they can rush the passer. Now they've got a young quarterback. Now they've got, arguably the most talented running back in the NFL. They got Drake London, who's a number 1 receiver. Like, they've got a lot of these pieces here. They're just not winning ball games, and they no-show. I mean, they didn't no-show, but they've had no-show games this year. Where, to me, like you've always been big on, you've talked about maturity all the time. Like, and I'm not saying this is a head coach thing. I'm just saying it's just like a team thing. But it just seems like to be able to put teams away and play up when you need to play up and not play down when you're playing bad teams, like, that's a maturity thing.
100%. We talk about championship maturity. Like, people, they just know how to take care of business. DJ, we've all been a part of championship organizations, and there's just a thing where you just kind of know, hey, guys, we're getting to the point where now we need to take care of business. Everyone focus in, lock in games. You'll see the team hit the switch and be like, hey, this is a critical moment in the game where we can separate from others. Let's make this happen. That's what we're talking about. And that's really because when you look at the standings and you see all these teams in the middle of the pack, there's a clump of teams. But the teams that ascend to the ones that are contenders are the ones who have that maturity to know what's on the line, whether it's game by game, whether it's quarter by quarter or play by play. They just have this sense that we need to get it done, and their urgency goes up and the execution follows.
All right, next game here, Denver 18-15 over Houston. They kick a field goal to win it late. Kind of an ugly game, but man, Denver they've lost one of the Chargers coming down to the very end. They lost 2 games down to the very end, but then, man, they found a way to win a couple of these nail biters as well. We've talked about the defense forever. I don't think the offense is like the most dynamic offense, but they find a way when they need to drive late to get one, and they got one against Houston. And Houston, to be fair, C.J. Stroud gets knocked out of this ballgame. They're in a world of trouble, man. They're 3-5.
Yeah, they're 3-5. Divisional game coming up against the Jaguars next week, and that could happen with or without C.J. Stroud. That is that is a must-win situation for them. If not, they fall completely off the map when it comes to playoffs and those things. I feel bad for Houston because defensively they are more than good enough for being a top 5 team. Offensively, they just can't get it done. And whether we talk about personnel, schematics, tactics, or whatever, it's just not working for them. And I know that the Denver Broncos are a dominant defense, a suffocating defense, but they're playing without Pat Surtain, and they still are able to kind of have their way. It's just a weird thing. It's an anomaly. I've never seen someone, and it's not all his fault, but I've never seen someone that we celebrated so much as a rookie, and 2 years later, we're just like, man, can we get that old CJ back?
Yeah, no kidding. It's not been the same. Talking about those snug losses, they lost to Indy 29-28, and the Chargers 23-20, both at the very end of the game. So outside of that, this team would be 9-0. They're 7-2. They just ripping off win after win after win. They've got Vegas coming up, which should put them at 8-2, and then you get the big showdown with Kansas City that is coming up on November 16th. But the schedule sets up for them, man. They're going to be a high seed in the postseason. Whether or not they can hold on and win the divisional, yet to be determined. But the Broncos have set themselves up. They're in great shape. San Francisco, Mac Jones, is this graduated into a blessing or a curse? By the way, 34-24. He has a great day as they beat the Giants.
I mean, it's still a blessing because he's kept them afloat and kept their playoff hopes like flickering, like you want your backup quarterback to do. But it's also becoming a very expensive proposition because every time he plays and starts and wins, like it's a big bonus. I think it's like $400,000, something crazy that he's playing. But he's also setting himself up to be the next reclamation project if he finds a team that plays the system that the Niners are playing, much like Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield and some of these other guys have been able to do. But credit him. When Mac Jones plays inside of himself, meaning he colors inside the lines, Mac Jones can be a really good quarterback. Mac Jones gets in trouble when he wants to freelance and get outside of the lines and get creative and make his own things. So I just want to give him the Kyle Shanahan coloring book and just tell him the black things just stay inside the borders, because when he does that, he does look like a high-end quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how it could happen, but I'm looking at Mac Jones and thinking, man, we'll see what openings come up. And if those openings also, not only the head coach, but would have a quarterback spot that could be open. But man, I wonder if you could see a Sark or a Lane Kiffin maybe eyeing a marriage with Mac Jones, kind of the Alabama ties, Alabama connection there to try and land someplace and have him as their quarterback. But he's going to be starting somewhere next year. There's no question about it with the way he's rebounded and played under Kyle Shanahan. All right, let's keep the train moving here, Buck. Next game, the Rams just pulverized the New Orleans Saints. Devontae Adams gets in the end zone a couple times. They're doing whatever they want right now. They're playing really, really well, and they're on a collision course with Seattle.
Yeah, they are on a collision course with Seattle. And I'll say this, man, as long as you got Matthew Stafford, you have a chance when you're the LA Rams. Matthew Stafford is just a G. And I think I have a greater appreciation for him now than I ever did, even though he held his number one pick, came in and did a bunch of great things. In fact, was in the MVP conversation during his time with the Detroit Lions. But his ability to drop dime after dime, whether he's looking at the receiver or no looking at the receiver, is bananas. He just is a special talent. And in LA, what Sean McVay has done is he's been able to use him when needed, not use him all the time, the way that he was utilized early in his career in Detroit. They pick and choose when to ask him to put the cape on and become the masterful playmaker. But man, when he does put that cape on, he is a terrific guy when it comes to making these superhero plays. Yeah,
his numbers are ridiculous. He's I would say he's the front runner for the MVP right now, having an absolute monster season. Interesting with the Rams, buddy Jordan Rodriguez posted that they were in 13 personnel, 35 of 77 plays, had a 51% success rate out of that personnel grouping, including 4 touchdowns. They ran the heck out of it, ran it really well, close to 200 yards, and then they're efficient and explosive in the passing game. That's a good spot to be in. The Rams playing really, really good football and absolutely on a collision course with Seattle. Before too long, you're going to see that twice before we get to the end of the season. Looking forward to those matchups. All right, Buck, next one, we'll get to the games we were at. So Chargers, Tennessee Titans. I mean, it was all set up for an upset for the Titans in this game. Their first 2 touchdowns come without their offense doing anything. You get a pick 6 first drive from the Chargers. Barton undercuts Keenan Allen on a little stop route, picks it, takes it to the house. There's a touchdown. Then you get Shamir DK with a punt return for a touchdown. So they get a couple non-offensive scores early. The Chargers, unfortunately, Joe Alt, he gets rolled up on the same ankle again, which is just brutal. And then, Herbert gets sacked a bunch of times in this game as they're just playing with so many backups along this offensive line. But his answer, I thought was a good one, was, okay, we got to use my legs a little bit. At that point in time, he hadn't run much in this game. He's run a lot this year, but he rips off a long run. He has a quarterback sneak for a touchdown. He has another scramble for a score. So it was, I think he converted like 6 first downs with runs, and they have kind of they perfected their own little version of the tush push with him. And it makes sense. He's so big and strong that, that it makes sense that they would get something going and figure that out. I should say just the one rushing touchdown, just a bunch of conversions. But then defensively, they got after the quarterback a little bit. Adafe Owe, a couple sacks. He's got 4 sacks in 3 games since he came over. That's been a great trade for the Chargers.
Yeah, how about that? It's funny you talk about that tush push. I did notice that when I was watching the game, the running start from the backfield to hit Herbert in the back. I just hope he doesn't get whiplash from all that that force that he feels. Yeah. But
by the way, real quick on that, I told Money we had that long delay and the long flight homes, and Matt Money Smith sits right next to me. He's the play-by-play guy for the Chargers, and we're real tight. And Buck has worked with him forever as well. But I'm sitting there and I said, hey man, like now that they're doing this a lot, like they've got like the brotherly shove. Like we got to come up with we tried to workshop a name for that thing. None of which could be appropriate. I don't think you can say the thrust and Justin. I don't think you can say that.
No,
you can't do that. Be inappropriate. No, that's a no. So we workshopped a lot of different things. Oh, okay. He said the TV broadcast was trying to call it the power surge. Okay, with the lightning and the bolt. I get that. Right. Maybe, yeah. But then it's not ours. It's not original. So I don't think we can do that. But yeah, we tried, Buck. We tried to come up with something, but didn't have anything. But hey, can I get you real quick on the Titans side of things? Sometimes when you're on a bad team, you can be a really, really good player and go underappreciated and never talked about. Cedric Gray, I say this because he's a Tar Heel.
Linebacker.
The linebacker is all over the field for them. He is a good football player. And I don't know that I've heard his name once on a national conversation. But he's playing really, I believe, second-year player. He's all over the field. Yeah. He is a good player. Their defense actually did some good things and played well considering no Jeffrey Simmons. For that group. They're playing hard. Mike McCoy's there is taking over as the interim coach. It's a tough spot to be in.
Hard job. Yeah, hard job to take over. Denard Wilson is doing the defense, and they are playing hard. They just don't have enough, man. They just don't have enough all around. And it's going to be interesting to see how they try and rebuild this team, because in my head, the Titans have always been synonymous with rough, rugged, physical football teams. They kind of get after it. I remember the heyday when they were the Tennessee Tyrants, Keith Bullock and those guys. I wonder what their identity is going to be. And this is going to be a chance for, new general manager, Chad Bricker, the president of operations or whatever, to kind of figure out what this team is going to be. But I just know, and from those rivalries with Baltimore, whatever, I just know whenever they've been their most successful, they have played a certain way. And
Eddie George and Derrick Henry, that's when they've been successful.
I don't know if they can deviate from that blueprint and that formula, despite how some team builders see their perfect vision of teams.
Well, they're going to have a brand new, beautiful stadium for the 27th season. That thing's coming together nicely. It's going to be nice. Pretty. So I'm looking forward to that. And I will say they got to get Helm the ball more. The rookie tight end out of Texas. Yeah. He made a big time catch. They got to get him going. But DK's playing well. Jameer DK he's leading the league in all-purpose yards. He's been excellent. And then Io Manor, the rookie from Stanford, kind of get him going a little bit. They need upgrades along that offensive line, although I would say Skoronski's played really well. He's turned into a good player for them. They got some pieces, man. And Jeffrey Simmons is as good a defensive tackle as there is in the league when they get him back healthy. I just think they need an alpha. They need an alpha receiver. They need to upgrade a little bit of that offensive line. And then it's going to take some time, man. It's not a quick fix here.
Yeah, it's not a quick fix in the league that doesn't have time. So that's what. Yeah.
Well, there's going to be a fresh new staff coming in, so they're going to start the clock over. Cam Ward's going to be okay. Don't panic about that. I mean, he's got all the tools that you need. He's not working with a ton right now, so just be patient with him. You see some good things there. His one mechanical thing is when he has to move around and reset and throw. his accuracy goes to crap. He's actually better just throwing on the move or throwing off platform than when he has to reset, get his feet in the ground. He missed a couple, but I wouldn't be too overly concerned there. All right, that's the one I was at, Buck. How about the wild as heck game you were at? Jacksonville denying a 2-point conversion at the end of overtime to win this one 30-29 over the Raiders.
Yeah, DJ, what's funny, the more that I look at the league and the more we talk about these high-end players when it comes to the draft and those things, ultimately you determine, look, it's the undrafted, it's the non-marquee players that determine whether you make the playoffs and go deeper, because injuries tear up everything. And I'm looking at a Jacksonville lineup that no Travis Hunter because he got injured during the bye week. You have Brian Thomas Jr. Brian Thomas Jr. goes out the game. So you're talking about Parker Washington. You're talking about Austin
he's the
Samuel.
man.
You're talking about Tim Jones. I mean, no Brendan Strange. And you're just playing with a bunch of guys that are viewed as cast-offs or outcasts or whatever, and you're having to lean on them. And then on the offensive line, you get guys that get banged up or whatever. You're still needing to run the ball, and you successfully run the ball. And then I look over on the other side with the Raiders. They're having to do it too. They're having to piecemeal the lineup, trying to figure out who to get players in and those things. Overall, the game was interesting because I felt like the Raiders played really, really well in terms of understanding who they are. Chip Kelly has kind of found a way to get this team to have an identity now. And some of that is what you would always say, because DJ, I'm watching them and I'm looking at the lineup and I'm like, all right, coming into the game, you can't let Aston Genty and Brock Bowers beat you.
Yep.
And I'm looking, and Aston Genty and Brock Bowers are just whipping the tail. I mean, just Brock Bowers is just like this unstoppable force. And I'm like, I don't know much, but I know if I look over there, you probably don't want 89 to get the ball. He is getting the ball whenever they need it to go to a playmaker. He gets it. I mean, they have some pieces. I just think Chip Kelly just needs to keep recycling this formula, and they'll find their way into the win column. But no, it was a great win for the Jags because they just kind of outlasted the Raiders in the game. That was a tough one for them on the road.
Bowers 12 for 127 and 3 touchdowns in that game. Geno actually had a nice game, 29-39, 284, 4 touches, 1 pick. Genty got one through the air.
Yeah, they ran the ball, and then they came bootleg. Every possible bootleg that you ever want to see. If you're our little league coach and you want to learn how to bootleg, watch this game with Geno Smith. Every bootleg that you could run, I saw. Slide, full, delay, everything. I was like, man, that kid, like it's like a high school game. Like any more bootlegs that Chip Kelly can come up with. But he did a really good job of getting the veteran quarterback back on track.
Yeah, so it was a fun game. I just saw the tail end of it. I didn't get a chance to watch the video, the tape of it yet, but looking forward to that. I mentioned the college thing. So Auburn's looking for a coach now as well, Buck. I mean, this has been bonkers, man. This is the common refrain that I've got from talking to a lot of people in the college space. It's like, where do they think all these coaches are coming from? Like to fill all these gigs.
DJ, I don't like. That's what I'm saying. Maryland also fired their coach. Mike Lockley was let go after losing to Indiana. I guess it was homecoming from Maryland, and it was an embarrassing defeat with Indiana coming through. But another job that opened, and I'm sitting here and I'm like, yeah, like okay, that's great. Everyone wants better.
Yeah,
who's better? I mean, I'm still trying to figure out who Penn State and Florida and LSU are going to hire before we even think about the Arkansas and the Auburn.
Yeah,
I mean. So some of these
we
guys
still have Virginia Tech's out there. It sounds like Virginia Tech put they're trying to put the squeeze on James Franklin to get him to make a decision before he decides. I'm like, I don't know, James Franklin, I wouldn't be in any rush. I mean, he's like the bell of the ball right now.
He's like, hold on, wait a minute. Let me see what else shakes loose. Something else makes shake. I mean, I don't know. And I think this is what happens and Nick Saban has talked about this, when you have the money makers beginning to weigh in on decisions, they have a voice and everyone wants it right now. And it's just impossible to think that every team is going to be a perennial powerhouse, that they're all going to go to the playoffs year in, year out. It's just not going to happen.
No, it's going to be it's going to be wild. I'm looking forward to having Bruce Feldman on. We need to have him on, kind of go over all this stuff. I know he's coming on here in the near future. I don't know if it's this week or next week, but this has been a quick one. We want to hit on some of those games. Next episode is a fun one. We do have Bruce coming on 10 days from now on the 13th.
Cool.
coming up. So looking forward to that one. But we're going to have Rhett on the next episode. We'll do the rookie draft recap and look forward. And
I got to say this.
Yes, sir.
Mine is under protest.
Were you missing somebody? Did he not play?
Travis Hunter got injured on Thursday.
Well,
and there's no recourse.
You gotta factor in durability on draft day.
How do we factor that in? A practice injury. How do we factor in a practice injury that he goes on IR?
You can appeal. You can appeal.
No one tells.
You can appeal that. That could be Gavin and Drew. Gavin and Drew will be Bucky got a point for Hunter. How is that? Oh, did somebody go negative? Somebody must have went negative. You might have still got a point. All right, that's the tease. We'll find out about how Bucky got a point for a guy who didn't play. So be on the lookout for that next episode. What the heck is going on, man? We'll see you next time right here on Move the Sticks.